where we are. Give it just a little bit. We got to wait for all of our presenters to get here. All right, welcome, 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 everybody. So we're going to get started in about 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Just giving everybody a chance to get in. Welcome, 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 welcome. Glad you're here. All right, hello, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock. We have Michelle Wesley, who will be joining us shortly if she's not here.
I'm here.
She was having some technical issues, and it's Ousley. I remember now.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, we all have unique names. We're like, okay, how do I pronounce this bad boy? So I am so glad that you all are here today. Let me go ahead and pull up our slides so we can get started because we have a lot of stuff to cover. And we're excited that you're part of this journey with us to teach people and show people how to make money on Shopify. So before we get started, before we get too deep into this, the first thing I want to do is I want to encourage everybody to grab a pen and paper. This is going to be so important because of the fact that there's a lot of stuff that we're going to be covering, and we don't want you to miss a thing. Okay? So grab a pen and paper so that you're ready to take some notes. If you got a computer or laptop somewhere near you, some type of device where you can look some stuff up, we might be looking some stuff up. So I want you to also have that handy as well. We're going to be covering a lot of great information. Let me see if there's any way to hide this thing. Exit full screen. Nope. I've been trying to figure out how to hide this for years, and it just is not going to hide. All right, fine. Yeah, no. Okay, so since we are where we are, yeah, no, nope. That's it. Okay. So my name is Nicole Whitlock. I am with eCom Sellers. Today we're going to be talking about how to get started selling on using Shopify to sell products. I am so excited because we're going to be covering a lot of great information. So we want to encourage you to grab a notepad and a pen, grab a bottle of water if you need to, or a cup of water, because we're going to be busy for a while. And if you have a device like a laptop or, I don't know, Chromebook or iPad. You may need to look up some stuff, so we definitely want you to do that. So I am one of your presenters on this journey, and the other trainer on this journey is Michelle Ousley. So let's go ahead and get started. So Michelle, I am going to let you introduce yourself.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Nicole. Welcome everyone to the training. I hope you're ready. Like Nicole said, have your notebook and pen ready because we're going to cover quite a bit of information. I want to give you a little bit of information about me. Like Nicole said, my name is Michelle Owsley, and I am the mother of five beautiful adult children. And I have been married for 26 years to my husband, who is Army retired. But eCom wasn't my first choice. I actually have been a paralegal since like 1996 and worked in that field. And it seems an odd match to come from that world and to jump into online with e-commerce, but it worked out for me. So in 2016, I discovered an online program which taught e-commerce, and the course focused on the Shopify platform. And at that time, I was green. I didn't even know what Shopify was. And I was like, what is this? But it seems interesting because I was just looking for a way to kind of make some extra money and be able to be at home because I was kind of tired of that whole 9 to 5, especially with being a paralegal. There's a lot involved. There's deadlines and things like that with attorneys. So I bought this program, and I think I signed up for the program about the end of June. Got on the webinars, watched the videos, implemented. I was just really on my grind. And I started my first store in August of 2016. And what happened was absolutely amazing. I had immediate success when I did an ad for one of the products within my store, and the product went viral in the first month, and I did make 5 figures, and I literally was running behind the business because I didn't expect success to hit so fast, and so it was so many orders coming in, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this works." I think it was a combination of shock that it worked, and then trying to make sure implementing everything to get the orders filled and learning the platform because I still was kind of green. I knew a little bit, but it was exciting all in one and nerve wracking. And with being an entrepreneur, you always have to be flexible and make sure you're ready to, to kind of learn new things, implement on a drop of a dime. And that's what ended up happening. So, I continued to grow my Shopify store, and then I began teaching in 2017. And I kind of can say I was relentlessly pulled into teaching. I didn't mean to do that part of it, but because I had such great success, then people started reaching out. And of course, I'm a person, I want to share the wealth. I want to share the knowledge because I know once you have the knowledge, no one can take that from you. You can repeat your success over and over again. Once you learn it, you've got it. So I began teaching Shopify and Facebook ads marketing and have grown from there. And, at first I was nervous. I'm not like a person that, I'm like, I want the spotlight, but, and I still don't. But I like teaching people and seeing that look, once you see you're successful, once you get that first sale, once you level your store up, that's my heart to share as much as I can before I leave this earth, and not just with my kids, but with anyone who's willing to learn and do the work. And I also believe that age is not a factor, nor any other roadblock, meaning, where you live, demographics, what your knowledge level is at this time. It's possible to be successful with Shopify on a small or a large measure based on what your desire is and what the effort you put forth. When I signed up for that Shopify, I was probably about, let's count back. I'll be 50 this year. So I was probably about 46, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. I think I was like 40, 45 or 46. So you can learn at any age. And if you are willing to do the work and implement, you can do this. And I'm still doing this. I still have my store, and it is successful and I make money. You know, I would be, I don't need to be like that $1 million earner. That would be nice if that happens, but the income that I bring in 5 figures from my Shopify store is more than enough, and I'm satisfied with that. So that's a little bit about me. I'm going to turn it back over to Nicole.
All right. So I have to say, I am so glad that Michelle is my co-pilot on this journey for this particular course. I'm thankful, eternally grateful and thankful to her for the things that I've learned from her thus far. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. I am the owner and the creator and the co-founder of eCom Sellers. We own about 9 different brands, of which I think everybody knows about 4 or 5 of them, and which is crazy. So that means there's more to come. And the foundation was laid like in 2018, October 2018. So I've been selling online since 2014. I started on eBay, and I use that to raise money for my children, for their therapies, for their special diet and supplements, and then alternative therapies that are non-traditional. I have 2 special needs kids. My son, who's Nicholas, is autistic and he has seizures. My other son, Tony, he has Asperger's. And so and some other challenges, central auditory processing disorder, and so on and so forth. So I'm also the vice president of a nonprofit that supports the special needs community, and we do things in the community. I've been selling offline since 2008 because I got a divorce in at the December of 2006. But after my son was born, he was born in January 2007. So I got divorced before I had my son, 1 month, which is crazy. And I was doing garage sales, and I wasn't just doing my garage sales, like I was doing everybody's garage sales. So if someone had stuff in their garage they were trying to get rid of, if people were going to toss some stuff out, they were going to donate it to like the Salvation Army. I was asking them for their stuff. So I've been selling offline. I also ran a candy vending business. So I've been a hustler for a while, and that's what I call it. And I'm grateful for this opportunity to teach this class because I think it's going to be invaluable to whatever you decide to do in the future. My specialty, my area, I won't say that I truly have a specific specialty because I've done a little bit of everything. But, I spent a lot of time on Amazon and eBay, and I have ventured into Walmart and to selling on Walmart, Etsy. I have an Etsy store, on Facebook Marketplace. Like I've dabbled in a little bit of everything. And I created my first Shopify store, but I didn't do anything with it. So this is going to be a great opportunity, but not only because I am not a Shopify expert, but I do know enough about Shopify to be dangerous or to be clumsy. And I'm just glad that I have this opportunity to share this journey with you guys. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I apologize in advance. I'm going to turn my sound down just for a second. My sound is a little loud over here. Okay. All right. So about the first 30 minutes is me talking, and then Michelle's going to take it over, probably 30 to 45. But anyway, I wanted to let you all know what is the plan for the next couple of weeks. So the first thing I want you to know is that this is a 12-week program. We're actually only meeting 8 of those 12 weeks. Of those 8 weeks, the sessions are in the email that you receive. And our objective, our goal at the end of the day is to make sure you have enough information to be able to launch your Shopify store successfully and to get massive profits for Black Friday. Now, that massive profits, that really depends on you, your activity and your actions, but we're going to give you enough information so that if you use it and implement it, it's on you. If you don't make it, then I don't know what to say. But we're going to give you a lot of information. So we hope that you implement what we teach you. There are 4 sessions in which we are not meeting, so those dates are listed up above. Basically, we're not meeting for Halloween. We're not meeting for Thanksgiving on the weekend before Thanksgiving, which happens to be, of course, right after Thanksgiving is Black Friday. And we're not meeting the second week in December. So all of the sessions are via Zoom. They will always be through Zoom. So if for some reason you can't attend, we're going to upload the recordings within 48 hours after the class is over. It's only going to be available to those people who purchase that session. So we offer 4 different intensives. We have an Amazon intensive, an eBay intensive. We now have the Walmart and the Shopify intensive. We'll be expanding those to have at least 2 more next year. And so the goal objective is to take someone from 0 to whatever number they want in 12 weeks. And that's completely doable on any platform. You will be given assignments, and so we'll talk about those assignments at the end of class. And then we may, from time to time, email you with instructions, with videos or templates as needed if we determine that we need to email you something. But we do want you to join the Facebook group. So there is an eCom Sellers Mastery Facebook group, and we encourage you to go join that Facebook group so you'll have the opportunity to go through and ask questions, go through the files section. There'll be a lot of stuff that's shared. We do also host 2 live Q&A sessions. They are every Tuesday and every Saturday. So I think we're probably going to have to move the Saturday to 3 o'clock from 2:30, but we'll let everybody know if we do, because the Walmart class today ran for 3 hours. So, and that was at 12:30. In any case, we want to make sure that you're able to talk to a live person. That's the whole reason why we have the 2 live Q&A sessions. And it doesn't just apply for just this class, this 12-week period. Like if you have questions in the future because you bought the intensive program, so let's say you have questions 6 months from now and you're implementing something else that you bought, you're more than welcome to jump on the Q&A sessions. They are the same link. So it's your opportunity to ask questions to a live person who's actually doing something in the e-commerce space. So that's our goal. That's our objective, to be a blessing to you. What are we covering over the next 12 weeks? It looks like this is too big, so I may have to actually decrease it. Let me do this. I apologize. Go back. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to do it this way because I didn't realize how close to the border this display is. But in any case, we're going to be covering today. There's a lot that we're going to be covering. I'm going to be teaching, like I said, for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then Michelle is going to take the bulk of this discussion. We're going to do cover keyword research, talk about your store theme. So if you can attend next week, we really want you to attend next week for sure. Where there's so much that we're going to be covering next week that it is insane. So we want to make sure you have enough information to be able to set up your store next week. Then the following week, we're going to be talking about your numbers. We're going to talk about sourcing again, optimizing your listings, using free apps and paid apps. We may just dabble in a little bit of discussion about the free and the paid apps. We're going to take a deep dive in session 3. Then we're going to talk about shipping, setting up your pages, your preferences, your meta tags, getting your payment stuff ready to go, customer discounts, coupons. We're going to talk about marketing. And then by class 5, you are ready for Black Friday or Cyber Monday. You can incorporate some of these additional ones that we have listed, which is using Shopify to integrate with your Etsy, so you can push your Shopify listings over to Etsy, Pinterest, Walmart, Amazon. Those are all great options to be able to have your items listed and sometimes cross-listed. We're going to talk about customer service and returns, and we're going to do a recap of everything you learned in sessions 1 through 4, along with getting you prepared with your Black Friday checklist. By session 6, 7, and 8, we're on the tail end of this. At that point, you should be into the throes of getting sales and transactions. You should be gearing up for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So session 6 is around, I think, November the 14th. And again, we anticipate that the Black Friday sales are going to come early, that the deals are going to be offered at least 2 weeks before Black Friday, and they may have some flash sales on Black Friday. And that's only because of what's happening right now with the pandemic and the industry, with the carriers having delays in shipments and whatnot. So there's a high probability that people are going to be ordering stuff early. So we want to get your store up and running as quickly as possible. And we will be talking about outsourcing to a VA. Some of the things that you'll be doing, you could eventually move some of that over to a VA and how to find a VA. We're going to talk about scaling your business and what other tools you can use to help run your business. So by the time we get to the end of session 8, you should be ready to go. You should be ready to scale your business or add more to it, or you should be well versed in Shopify, and you'll be able to run on your own. But again, you're always welcome to come join our Q&A sessions and ask questions. So today we're covering mindset. We're talking about building a real work schedule. We're going to talk about why Shopify, understanding Shopify, the different store models and business models, understanding and defining niches, and also doing some product research. So this is going to be, like I said, this is a foundational class. And if you miss this class, we encourage you to come back and watch it if you have to leave, because this is going to drive everything we're going to do next week. If you don't understand and haven't defined your niche, it doesn't do us any good to walk you through themes, because your store is not going to be what it needs to be. All right, so over this 12-week period, I have so many things in the window. This is so challenging. Uh, we're gonna talk about what you need to do from a number standpoint to get to any target goals that you might have. So if one of your target goals is to make sure that you're making no less than $2,000 within this 90 days, you'll definitely be able to hit that as long as you take action. If you take action, I can pretty much guarantee that if you take action, you choose a great niche, and you take action before or by November the 7th, there's no way you're not going to make $2,000 of profit. I mean, it's not possible. We have an increased number of buyers online. We have like at least 4 to 5 times the number of buyers online this Q4 than any other time. So because of that fact alone, that's an opportunity for you to get the sales that you've always wanted to get and to get the profits that you've always wanted to make. So if you're trying to get to 4,000, to get to 2,000 over the next 30 or 90 days, you'd have to have a profit of $24 a day. If you want to make $2,000 a month, you need to make sure you're getting a profit of $72 a day. If you want to get to $4,000 a month, that's $48 a day in profit, or $143 a day in profit if you want to get to $4,000 in profit a month. And then to get to $6,000 over the 90-day period, you need to have profit of at least $72 a day and $214 a day if you're trying to make $6,000 a month. Now, can you do that in this 90-day window? Absolutely. Can you, as long as you do the work and you take action on a regular basis, you can get to the numbers. You really can. So the first thing we're going to talk about is mindset. It's always one that people are like, why are you talking about mindset? Why are we here? Here's the deal. None of this works unless you work. None of it works. None of it works unless you commit to this whole process of, I am going to buckle down, get focused, and do the things that I need to do on a daily basis in order to get to the numbers I want to get to. I want to be successful online. For whatever reason, whatever your reason is why you don't, why you want to sell us, or why you want a store, like maybe you're really crafty and you make things, that's awesome. You should have a store. Maybe you're a person that you're trying to quit your job, you're trying to get away, then you should create a store. Maybe you've been laid off, unfortunately, or maybe your company is downsized. You need to make some extra money. Owning your own online store is a great way to make some money. It's a great way to make some money. We want you to know that this is a simple business, but it's not easy, that there are going to be things that you have to do, and some of it is going to be a learning curve to you. So we just encourage you to give yourself a lot of grace and mercy. The only way that this is going to work is if you commit to it, if you're patient, if you're consistent. Consistency is the key, that you have to forgive yourself often, and you also have to forgive the process. Let me just say, you're working with technology. Things happen with different platforms, and so you're integrating this software that goes through software updates and upgrades and all kinds of stuff. And one day something weird might be happening, or one day a platform might change their rules. So again, patience, grace, and mercy throughout this journey. You also have to make sure that you're giving out good customer service. Your reputation will be on the line. And so if you're not giving out good customer service, that feedback is not going to be what you needed or want it to be. So that's extremely important. We're going to teach you some of the tactics that you need to employ to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to practice good customer service. And then on this journey, we don't want you to take anything personal. You're going to have, because it's e-commerce, you're going to have returns, you're going to have complaints. You're going to have people that are going to lie. You're going to have people that are going to try to get over on you. Things are going to happen. I'm not saying this to scare you. None of this is to scare you. This is just a reality check. You have to know that if you're online selling long enough, if you've been doing it long enough, you may not even experience any challenges until 3 years from now. You'd be like, well, it finally happened to me. So just know it might happen, and we don't know when. We can't say how, but you have to not allow any of it to get you to quit what you're doing if you really enjoy this. If you feel that this is for you, then again, you need to buckle down, focus, and be consistent in your business. So at the end of the day, we're going to give you the blueprint. We're going to give you the action steps you need to take to be successful. but this is your business. You make all the decisions, you run the business, you own the business, you're in charge. You're in charge of the inventory that you buy, who you buy it from, how much vetting you did or did not do with that supplier. So if the inventory is bad, again, you make all the business decisions. We're here to be a guide, to be a sounding board, to teach you, and then you have to go do the work. And just know sometimes everything lines up and the stars are in perfect alignment. And there are times that the stars are in alignment, then one day something is just weird and it's off. And that's just the nature of life. So don't take any of it personal. Just be prepared to pivot. That is the biggest thing that I hope that everyone has learned over the last 9 months, is that being able to be flexible enough to pivot is, I don't know, imperative to your survival, period. It is. So you have to be willing to pivot and to make adjustments in your business and your business model, because every day is not going to be the same. My son was driving earlier today and he was saying, I wish we could go back. I'm like, go back where? Go back to where it used to be. Hey, there's a lot of people that feel that way. But we're adjusting, we're moving on, we're not allowing it to keep us paralyzed and standing still. And you need to do the same. Stuff is going to happen. You just need to pivot. Okay. Um, so I was going to tell my story. I'll just give you the short version of it. You know, while I was on this journey of discovering that my child was autistic when he was really, really little, like he started progressing when he was around 15 months. It was shortly after we got flu shots. And so I was like, what is happening to my child? But in any case, I didn't know what I was dealing with. And at some point on this journey, when he was finally diagnosed with autism, he was diagnosed with seizures. I went to go see a specialist in our area that specialized in taking care of children with autism. And she told me, after she evaluated him, that I needed to go gluten free, casein free, and I needed to give him all these supplements and I needed to make all these changes. And I was like, I was single mom. I do not receive any assistance from anybody, including their daddy. And I don't have any money to go gluten free, organic, and do all these supplements. So fast forward to e-commerce. I started hustling. That's when I started doing garage sales. I started doing all kinds of interesting stuff. I sold life insurance and health insurance. I was a licensed agent for 6 years. And I've done a lot of stuff. I had my own candy vending business. I've just done it all. And e-commerce was the thing that I've clearly settled into. Since 2014, I've been doing e-commerce. Why? Because it allows me the flexibility to do the things that I need to do. One of the things about e-commerce is that it's repetitive. That's a good thing, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to live forever. I'm not. It's just a reality. I've accepted that. And so because I'm not going to live forever, I need to be able to help my children develop some level of a skill so that if I pass on, that they are able to take care of themselves. Most people don't know that 92% of those with intellectual disabilities are unemployed or underemployed. 92%. That's a statistic that you never hear in the news, but it's a real statistic. So, since 92% of those with intellectual disabilities are unemployed or underemployed, I have to figure out a process to help my kids be able to make money. I first went into trying, buying rental properties. I own 3 different properties, and I was like, no. But selling online, it's a repetitive activity. The platforms may change, some of the rules on the platforms may change, but the method of sourcing is pretty close to the same. It's been the same since 2014. Pretty close, not exactly close, not exactly the same, but there are things about it. Being able to put up a listing. Again, there's some basics about a listing. Doesn't matter what platform you're on, there's some basics about it. Being able to accept payments. So the concept of being able to teach my kids this was like, okay, they can do this, even if this industry evolves and things about the platforms change. The fact that my children can learn how to produce money out of thin air, I love this. And it's something I can teach them. I can teach them on, instructional cards so that they always know how to do it. And then someone can come in and make adjustments to those cards to guide my child through the next steps, should the platform change, should whatever happen. So that's my goal, is to be able to help my children have options and to be able to take care of themselves. So that is my why, because I know that they're going to get big and I'm not going to live forever. So they have to be able to take care of themselves outside of the life insurance that they may receive. So that's my why. And I want to encourage you guys to write down your why. Your why will motivate you and keep you focused even when you're frustrated. Even when your supplier says we're out of inventory, even when they can't answer what happened to your shipment, even when customers are just being really janky, your why will keep you focused. Your why will keep you motivated to keep doing the business. And so I want to encourage you guys right now to write down your why. What are 3 reasons why you want to learn how to create a Shopify store? Why do you even want a Shopify store? And if it is not a strong enough why, you will quit. I have trained over the last, since 2014 and probably beyond, I've probably trained over 300 to 400 people. And that is not an exaggeration. I receive messages all day long from people asking for help, asking for advice, and I help people. And then maybe 2 weeks later, 6 weeks later, 6 months later, it's crickets. You don't hear from them. They're gone. They started the business and then they quit. Something happened. They hit a roadblock. They hit something and they weren't able to get beyond it. And so they just said, well, this is not for me. E-commerce doesn't work. So the one thing I have learned on this journey is that if your why is not strong enough, you will quit. You will. That's just the reality of it. You'll quit, you'll find a reason to quit, and then you will just not do the business. And so that's one of the things that's frustrating for all trainers, and I'm sure Michelle will agree that when you invest so much time into people, you give them hours of your time. You're up late at night, you get up early in the morning, you take their calls I literally took a call once when I was at the hospital with my son who had had a seizure from someone. And then again, crickets 3 weeks later. So the point is, your why has to be strong enough to keep you going, keep you motivated to do this business. Because we give so much as trainers to people, and then people get frustrated with us or mad. We're like, well, you won't give your information away for free. No, because I've given away so much for free and people don't do anything with it. So we want you to do something with this. Don't take this course and not do anything with it. I want to see everybody in this course with a Shopify store. I want to take screenshots of your store. I want to promote your store when this is over. If I have to, I may even run Facebook ads for you with my own dollars because I want your store to go live. That's just how much I want you to succeed. You have to want it more than I do. Seriously, you do. So, and Michelle, I heard you unmute. So if you want to add something to that.
Yeah, let me just chime in that, part of my why kind of lines up with what Nicole said, in the fact that we have been military for over 23 years. I'm a veteran also. And my kids range from 19 to 33. But one of the things was, I wanted them all to go to college, get a piece of paper, but I still teach them the business side. So for me, this is about the legacy that I leave them. I have 4 daughters and 1 son, and it took them a minute, and their maturity, now they get it. They saw it in action when I was doing it, and they asked for the money, of course, and they spent the money, but now they're kind of circling back and saying, wait a minute, mom, can you show me how to do that Shopify store? Hold on. You did Facebook ads. So they paid attention even though I thought they didn't. And so if, something, God forbid, were to happen to me right now, I'm confident at least 3 out of the 5 could take over this where I left off. And it's the legacy I leave. And it's the fact of the knowledge I leave them, that even if they don't want to continue my particular niche store, that they can turn around and create their own. And just like Nicole said, create money out of thin air. I always tell everyone that I've trained, I think I've trained well over 1,000 people since 2016. If you could stand at an ATM and put $1 in and get $1 back without it minusing from your account, the ATM just messed up, and it's just every time you put in $1, it gives you $1. How long would you stand there and collect that dollar? Because that's profit. You've just doubled your money. I'm gonna put in $1 and I'm gonna get back $1. I was standing there for hours until I probably had $1 million or something. So this is what happens when you combine having a Shopify store or whatever platform, Walmart, Etsy, and you create something out of an idea, a thought in your head, and then you create it once and then you sell it over and over again, and you make money for that one time. So that's all I wanted to throw in there, Nicole. But I understand the why. The why is necessary, and the why has to be big enough to hold you through when things don't always go right, but it will push you through being flexible and okay, I got to make this work because there's
Yeah.
no excuses, none.
Yes, absolutely. And that was our whole thing. We came from no excuses. That was the actual name of our group. But in any case, yeah. And I don't want you guys to think that you're going to, this is going to be a horrible journey for you. No, for some of you, everything is just going to fall right into place. It'll be like putting together a puzzle, and it'll be the easiest puzzle that you've ever put together. And for others, it may be I'm not really sure. I can't find this pink corner. Where is the green? Whatever. Like your puzzle might be a little janky. Like there's always one piece missing, but eventually your puzzle will get put together. I just want you to know that on this e-commerce journey, I will tell you there have been more people that have had, and the people that have stuck it out, they've had way, 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 way more success than they have had failures. And so I just want you to know that there's a lot of money to be made in the e-commerce space. And I think that's what people don't get. So if you're here for the money, that's a great motivator, but that can't be your only why. That can't be it because it won't sustain you. As soon as there's another shiny object where somebody says, if you get 3 friends, we'll give you blah, blah, blah. All you have to do is blah, blah, blah. Okay. I mean, there's just shiny objects everywhere. And because if money is your only motivator, you will not do this for long. But if you're motivated beyond money, then you'll stick it out. Trust me. I have trained so many people. Oh, so many. All right. So now we're going to talk about time management. After we go through the time management exercise, it is all about Shopify at that point. So we want you to buckle up, get ready. All right, so the first thing that people know me for is I always talk about building a real schedule, and everybody's like, oh, they just see no value in that. They really don't. Mindset and building a real schedule. Oh, those are just words, words, words. She is just cackling, cackling, cackling. No, I will tell you that those people that you see where they talk about their 7 figures or their 8 figures or their 6 figures, what do they have in common? They actually have a routine. How do you build a routine? You use a schedule. You have a process. That is how you make the money. People do not randomly just make money unless they've won the lottery. This is not a lottery situation. This is a marathon, not a sprint. So, since this is a marathon and not a sprint, putting together a schedule is going to help you build the habits and the consistency that you need in your business to make the kind of money that you want to make. If this is what you want to do long term, you can do it. If you want to work 20 hours or 15 hours a week long term in your business and make 6 figures every single year, you could do that with e-commerce. This is one of the only industries, like there's a couple of them, and this is one of those industries where you could actually work that few hours and still make 6 figures. You can even outsource 75 to 80% of your business operations after you learn it. Never outsource anything before you learn it. But after you learn it, you can outsource aspects of your operations and then just spend your time going on vacations. So that's the great thing about this business. I encourage you, we're going to build a real work schedule. We're going to talk about it and we're going to build a schedule because it's going to help you to be successful. It'll help you to be consistent and it'll help you build the habits that will actually keep your business growing long term. So I want you to write down right now what's stopping you, what's distracting you, what is in your way. Is it that your kids are at home? Is it that you're taking care of somebody else's kids? Is it that you work a full-time job? Is it that, what is in your way? What's stopping you from doing what you need to do on a regular basis, either in your business or in your personal life? Like if you have been trying to lose weight, what's stopping you from losing weight? What is your distraction? What is the thing that sets you back? Because we're going to focus on, or we're going to make sure that we build a schedule around those distractions or around whatever's happening. So I have ADHD. I do. I will work on 9 different things. I have 20 different windows open at any given time, and I will work on as many things as possible. There are people out there that will start things and never finish. There are people out there that have a hard time starting, but will finish. And so you have to be honest with yourself and say, okay, are any of the things that are stopping me, slowing me down, or preventing me from being successful? Is it anything that about me? Is it something about my environment? Maybe you need to do some things to help get your house in order, get your kids organized, whatever it happens to be. We're going to talk about putting those things in place so that you're ready to go. So make a note of what is stopping you, what you feel like your distractions are, or what's getting in your way, what's blocking you. And it can be an actual, like maybe it's your family, maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your job, or it could be something within yourself, something you've observed over the years, depending on how old you are, that you're like, this is something I got to break. This is a barrier I have to break right now. The other piece of that is I want you to write down realistically, and you have to be honest with yourself. How many hours per week can you really commit to your business? How many hours per day can you really commit to your business? And what is the most productive time of day for you? So a lot of people have never really paid attention to that. Like you could sit down and work on something for 8 hours and it just take you forever to do nothing. And then in a different day at a different time, you sit down and you knock out one activity that took you 8 hours the day before, you finish it in 1 hour. Like, what's different about that? Well, maybe you're starting to work on it in the evening after you're tired, after you've given all your mental energy to your job or to your kids or to whatever, and you're just tired. So you're just taking forever. You have a mental block. It takes you 8 hours to do nothing. Or you get up, maybe it's first thing in the morning, you are fresh, you are revitalized, your brain has hit a reset button, and you're ready to rock and roll. So you literally could burn through a checklist in like 2 hours. And like, wow, I'm done for the day. So, there are people that they say that the beginning of the day is the most productive time of the day. And so from a strategy standpoint, if you observe that that is a fact for you, I would encourage you to run the majority of your business operations during your most productive time of day, if that is possible. If that means you got to get up an extra hour earlier, believe me, if an extra hour earlier means that you get like 4 hours worth of work done in 1 hour because that's your most productive time of day, then do it. So figure that out. Make some observations over the next couple of days. When do I get the most stuff done? Like, seriously, is it first thing in the morning? Is it in the afternoon? Is it in the evening after I've gone to the gym? Or is it in the morning after I've gone to the gym? Figure that out and make a note of that, because those two combined is going to be helpful information for you as you make adjustments to your schedule over time. So this is the schedule you're going to build, and it's just going to be an interim schedule, and you're going to make adjustments because schedules have to be adjusted for whatever reason. Things happen. So be mindful of that. So some of the tools that I use to help me be focused, to stay on task, to get things done, because again, running a business is all about all the operational things that need to happen in that business in order to be successful. So I use my phone. One of them that I use is my phone, and I actually use the timer or the alarm clocks on my phone. Right now, my phone probably has about 25 to 30 alarm clocks on it. It does. And I use the alarm clocks to set reminders for things that I need to do. So if this is the time in which I'm actually going to be sourcing, I might set an alarm clock to remind me that I need to be sourcing. Not because, oh, okay, I'm not going to remember it, because things happen. I have a son who's autistic. He might run out the door with no clothes on, and I got to go track him down. I got an alarm clock as soon as I have a distraction, because that will cause you to lose your train of thought. Trust me. So as soon as I have a distraction, if I have an alarm clock that's going off that I have to purposely and intentionally go turn off the alarm clock on the phone, when I pick it up to hit the button to stop the alarm from ringing, it tells me what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And then I can reset and go, okay, it's time for me to go list. Because things happen throughout the day. You have to fix dinner, you got to fix lunch, you got to fold clothes, you got to do laundry, you got to help kids with school, you got to, I got to talk to doctors, I got to go to whatever it happens to be, go get your tire fixed. Things happen. And so being able to memorize your schedule is just like, I don't know that that's entirely possible. I reference my schedule at least twice a day, but the majority of the time I use the rest of my time to manage my time with alarm clocks on my phone. Seriously. So I am going to pull up my phone real quick, and I'm going to show my phone as soon as I unlock it. I thought I had it unlocked. And I want to show you what I mean. So if you have an Android or you have an iPhone, I have both. I have 4 phones. You can set alarm clocks on your phone so that when you have meetings, you can get things done. So I have different teams that I work with. Let me just come out of this and let me just turn this on. So if you look on my phone, you'll see all these alarm clocks. I meet with a traffic team. So if I'm in the middle of working with my son on school, I know the alarm clock is going to go off. And so I can stop what I'm doing, go turn off the phone, and get on the phone with the traffic team. If I have a meet with a customer about something, somebody I'm working on a funnel with, It's all on my calendar. It's all on my phone. And so I have these alarm clocks that as soon as I have meetings, I set all that stuff up. It makes it easy for me to remember what I got to do, and I don't forget it because again, it just pops up on my phone. So that's one of the hacks that I use. I also use my Google Calendar. The Google Calendar is a great one, and we're going to do a Google Calendar exercise. I also use kitchen timers. So kitchen timers, if I am in a situation where maybe like I just not recently, but last 2 months ago, we went to Wichita, Kansas, and so I knew that I had to get at least a few hours worth of work done. So maybe an hour's worth of listings done. So I would set a kitchen timer, shut the door on my office, tell the boys like, okay, go do something, like give them an activity basket and tell them to go do the activity basket. And then when the timer is done, that's when I'm done listing. If I have to focus, set a kitchen timer. If you can only do things at 15 minutes a clip or 30 minutes at a time, then that's fine too. But a kitchen timer is a great one to say, okay, I'm going to start the timer and I'm going to focus on this one thing and not break my focus and concentration for 30 minutes, for 1 hour until the timer goes off. And then I can go and do whatever is next. So kitchen timers are something that I like. I actually probably have about 8 or 9 kitchen timers in my house. In addition, and they work great for the kids too, kitchen timers, because then you can remind them, hey, you're supposed to be on the call with the next teacher, get over there. I also use a hack of when I'm doing listing, because again, I use timers when I need to focus on the income producing activity. That is when I'm using the timer the most. So I use alarm clocks, timers, I will use music. So I set up a playlist on YouTube, and I also have a specific song that I will play. So if I'm going to be listing for 1 hour straight, just 1 hour of just straight listing, I'll go out to YouTube, I'll pull up Pharrell, and I will pull up the song Happy. They have a 1 hour version of that. They have multiple 1 hour versions of that, but they have a 1 hour version of it. So I just play it in the background. As soon as the song starts, I will engage in the listing activity and continue listing until all of the song playing over and over again. I think it plays like 25 or 30 times in 1 hour. As soon as it's done, then I know that my 1 hour of listing, focused listing, is done, because listing is the income producing activity. Research is not, listing is. So those are some of the hacks that I use. I'll play my playlist on YouTube in the background, and then I will engage in activity on my laptop while it's playing in the background. So as soon as the last song of the playlist finishes, then I know I'm done with that income producing activity. So if you need to stay focused, you can use any of my hacks. I will put a sign on the door for the boys, hey, I need you to, work on your activity. So at the beginning of the week or the end of the week, we have little activity baskets. I give the boys an activity basket. In it, it might have some Legos, it might have puzzles, it might have coloring books, it might have an activity, something they need to build or design. And so I give them the activity book or activity basket that I created, and I hand it to them and say, okay, go do this and focus on it. And when I know that the activities in that basket is going to keep them busy for at least an hour. And then when my timer goes off, I open the door. Okay, you can come in now. So just different strategies to stay focused, And the last one is, I used to leave the house. Like I would leave the house to go list for an hour at the local community college. It's 3 minutes from my house, literally from in the car. It's 3 minutes. If I walked, it was like 8 minutes. So, so in any case, I literally would do that, go to the library and sit in one of the quiet rooms and list for 1 hour and then come back home. So there's different strategies that you can employ to help you to focus on those income producing activities, because there will be distractions. And so I have used all of these hacks, all of them, to help me to focus when I know I'm going to have distractions. Trust me, my autistic son is a distraction. At any given moment, he could walk in here and be talking and everything else, and you wouldn't be able to hear me. So again, figure out what your distractions are and then figure out a process or a method to handle or address that distraction. Also, when you get ready to build your schedule, like don't build anything that you have to do in the middle of your actual income producing activity time. So let's go through the exercise. What we're going to do is we're going to build a schedule together, and we're going to focus on the income producing or income generating activities. Those activities that are going to make you money, those are the ones where you need to be spending the majority of your time. Those activities that are not going to make you money, but maybe could potentially give you enough information so you could make money, those are important activities. So for the longest time, I've just like been explaining to people, I need you to know that doing product research and doing sourcing is not an income producing activity. Because I have worked with people where they've done product research for 2 weeks straight and then didn't do anything with it. So until the item is listed on some platform so somebody can buy it from you, it is not an income producing activity until it is listed. People cannot buy what they cannot find. People can't buy what they can't see. If it is not available for somebody to acquire it, then all of your research is for naught. So doing good product research is extremely important, but the income producing activity is actually listing the item so it's available for somebody to buy, because listing it will potentially produce a sale, which generates you what? Income. Research does not generate you income unless you do something with the research. Okay? You don't do anything with the research, it's not going to generate you any money. Acquiring inventory and letting it sit does not make you money. So if you buy all this inventory from suppliers and whatever the case may be, and you got piles of it, but you haven't listed it, it's just stuff in your house. It is not making you money. So again, the income producing activity is listing. That is the highest income producing activity, the biggest, the largest income producing activity that you have. You have got to get into the habit of, if I'm going to acquire the inventory, I must list it within 24 hours. I must list it within 8 hours. I must do something with it within 8 hours. If I'm going to do product research, I must do something with that product research almost immediately. I got to do something with it within 4 hours. I got to do something with it in 2 hours. Otherwise, it was just wasted time. It was wasted time. So you're going to find that on this journey, initially, you're going to spend 80% of your time on non-income producing activities, and you're going to spend 20% of your time on income producing activities initially. So that includes, this learning. You're going to learn about how to create a Shopify store. You're going to do some product research, keyword research. You're going to do some setup, some administrative stuff. You're going to learn about what you need to do to handle customer service and returns. These are all things you're going to have some administrative time, because you got to do all this tracking for orders and whatever else is happening with your business. So all of that doesn't make you money. But the listing of items and shipping and making sure items get shipped to customers, those make you money. Those are income producing activities. And so over time, the structure of your Shopify operations and the structure of your Shopify store is going to go from an 80-20 model to a 20-80 model, where you're going to be doing 20% of your time on non-income producing activities and 80% of your time on income producing activities. That is listing items, that is running ads, that is making sure items are validating that items are confirming that they got shipped to customers. All of that fun stuff, that's important stuff. Because if the customer doesn't receive it, what happens? Well, that money you just got, you got to give it back. Like, oh, no, that's an income loss. Like, no, I need to keep my money. So if I want to keep my money, I need to make sure the item gets out the door and to the customer and in the customer's hands. So make sure that you focus on the right things when you're running your business. Long-term, bigger picture. We're trying to get you all from, by the end of this course, everybody's going to be at a 20-80 model. Everybody. So that you can take that 20% and maybe outsource over 50% of that 20%. How you like them apples? I like it. So that's where we want to get you. And that's what we want you to focus on. So the activity that we're going to do together right now is we're going to actually build a schedule. We're going to focus on the things that matter. So there's going to be some learning activities. There's going to be some product research and sourcing, keyword research and setup and administrative and operations type of activities. Then we're going to do some listing. And the one that's not here is doing ads, because you are going to run ads with Shopify. So I need to actually edit this and show that you're going to be running ads. So you're going to have an ads related activity. You're going to have shipping related, because ads, setting up ads and having ads go live. Setting up of the ads, you could be setting up ads for, like, look, I'm going to talk about myself. I've been working on an ad now for about 2 days, and Miss Michelle knows that. So
yes, I do.
Because I've been busy. So working on that ad is not making me any money. Making that ad go live, that's when I'm going to make some money back. Okay. You also have to completely understand that you're going to be investing in your business. Yes, there is a cost to run your business. There's a cost in operations. So as part of your process, you need to be thinking about how much money am I willing to invest every single week and every single month in this business, because you're going to be priming the pump. You may acquire some inventory. Some of the things that you're going to sell, depending on your store model, and she's going to get into that in just a sec, you may not have to pay anything up front. You just pay when people buy. But there are going to be store models where you're going to be buying or acquiring inventory or potentially securing inventory up front. And if that's the case, you need to be prepared for that. Either way, there's going to be a cost to you, a cost in ads, a cost in inventory, there's going to be a spend. So you need to establish a budget as an e-commerce business owner. You need to have a budget. How much I'm going to spend in marketing, how much I'm going to spend in ads, paid apps. How much am I going to spend in inventory if I'm going to acquire inventory, depending on my business model? So again, you should also be establishing a budget. All right, so let's go and build this schedule, and then let's get back to the thing. And Michelle, what I would want you to do is you can open up the PowerPoint and show it from your screen when I'm done with this. So let me make sure this is the right schedule. Nope.
Okay.
So I am going to clear this out. The first thing I want everybody to know, if you don't have a Gmail account, I would encourage you to get a Gmail account, okay? Because Gmail is perfect. When you have a Gmail account, let me see if this is it. This is it. When you log into your Gmail account, you will go to what I refer to all the time, even though it's not multicolored, the Rubik's Cube. So this is the little like Google Apps over here. It's next to your initial. So if you click on this little Rubik's Cube, you'll see several options that are available to you. And the one that we care about right now is going to the calendar. So once you select calendar, it's going to launch your Google Calendar for your Gmail account. And what you're going to do is on this calendar, it's probably going to be blank. For some of you, you might be using it. My real calendar is very full. It's very colorful. But this is a calendar for the purposes of this exercise. So once you get to the calendar itself, there's probably nothing there. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to collapse my calendars, and I want you to go to the option over here that says other calendars, and I want you to click on the plus sign. Once you click on the plus sign, I want you to click on create new calendar. Now, this create new calendar is for you to create a calendar for your productivity in your business. I personally track everything from doctor's appointments to when I have to go up to the school, to when my child's next art is, to when I have to get an oil change. Like, I have a boatload of stuff on my calendar. I am that crazy about a calendar. Like when you need to pay the bills, because I've actually gotten so distracted in my business that the electricity has been cut off before and the water's been cut off before, because I'm so focused. And if I don't put it on my calendar, I'm not going to remember to do it. I have stopped picking up my regular mail, like because I don't need to, because I pay everything online. So I'm like, could you please stop sending me these bills? Okay. But here's the deal. Like, you want to put some stuff on your calendar, the recurring stuff that's extremely important. So anything around, like my son has a recital coming up and his teacher is messaging me right now. All of that stuff is on my own personal calendar. And then I have a business calendar of things. And so you're going to create a business calendar for your operations. Okay. So we're going to call this your Shopify productivity calendar. You can call it whatever you want to. Okay. So you're going to name it. And then you're going to click on create calendar. Once you click on create calendar, it'll say creation is in the progress. Then it's done. It says it's successful down here at the bottom. So now I'm going to click on the back button on settings. And if I come over here and I scroll down, you will see that I have a Shopify productivity calendar. Why do I care about this? Well, we're going to go put your income producing activities on there. So we know that for the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a lot of administrative stuff you're going to be doing. So maybe for the first, we create a first 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because you've got to have time dedicated to this business. One of the questions I asked you was, how many hours per week can you really commit to this business? And you have to be honest with yourself. If you're currently running an Amazon business, or you're currently running a Walmart business, or Etsy, or whatever, eBay, then if you have already committed, or you said that you're going to focus for at least 20 hours a week during Q4 on that, how much extra time are you going to give to Shopify? Because we're not trying to mess with whatever your game plan is already for Q4. So keep that one intact. If your current operations are that you're selling on Amazon or eBay or Walmart or whatever, keep doing that. So if you already have a time block for that, then great. If you don't have one, put your time block on your calendar to say, okay, I said I was going to work in the business for 20 hours a week. Let me put that on the calendar of I'm going to work in the business, and I'm going to list. Working in the business is generic and vague. Be specific. It's just like praying. Be specific. So make sure that you indicate what you're going to do with that time block of which you're going to work. So in this example, let's say I'm already an Amazon seller. So I know that my most productive time of the year or most productive time of the day is in the morning. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a calendar. Where am I? Well, that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on the time slot. And let's say in the morning, I'm going to get up and I am going to engage in a listing activity for 1 hour. I'm going to put listing as the activity. I'm going to click on more options. I'm going to click on the drop down for do not repeat, go to custom. And I'm going to say, I'm going to list Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm going to continue to engage in this activity until the end of Q4. So I'm going to go all the way out to January 22nd. I'm going to click done. I'm sorry, January 2nd. Change this color to green because what? It's an income producing activity, which means it makes me money. I'm going to set up a notification so I get a little notification on my phone. If you have notifications turned on your phone, and so you can set it up as like a little ding or a little bell or whatever, then it'll send you a notification sound to your phone so that you know that you have something. If you have like an Apple Watch or whatever, you can get those dings on your Apple Watch or whatever you're using. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. And now I have an income producing activity. It's in green. And this is for, and you probably want to indicate what this one's for, because if it's not for Shopify, you need to indicate it. So if you're currently doing Amazon, you're doing eBay, you're doing Etsy, you're doing Walmart, whatever it happens to be, go indicate what it's for and just block it off. If you're not currently in Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Facebook, Marketplace, whatever, Poshmark, Mercari, if you're not that seller, then don't worry about putting this time block on there. The reason why I'm putting it here is because you're about to learn a new skill, and I don't want it to mess with the money you already are receiving if you're running those operations. Okay, so this is extra time. And then let's say, so that's 1 hour. So that's a total of 6 hours in a week. So then you have some other time doing other stuff, whatever those other things are. Like you might have a shipping activity if you're doing seller fulfilled from your home. So I would probably put shipping here. Okay, that's an income producing activity for me. I set up a notification, change the reminders. I'm going to go, and this is what I'm going to do until the end of Q4. Okay, so I have a shipping related activity, just put 30 minutes down. And then, nope, repeat, didn't do it. Forgot to hit the buttons. Okay, so now I have this beautiful color coded, listen, all following events. I have this beautiful color coded calendar that says I'm doing some activities. And then maybe I'm getting up an extra 15 minutes earlier to do some product research. So I'm doing online arbitrage. And I'm doing it for 30 minutes here. So then there you go. Okay. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna make that orange. Okay. So now I have some of I need to keep making money in my business. At this point, I've got roughly 12 hours worth of productivity up here. When I look at this is 12 hours of activity. And we could go all the way and continue finishing parts of this out and get it up to, your full 20 hours. So now I'm going to say, okay, when am I going to work on my Shopify store? Am I going to work on it right in the morning after I finish all my Amazon, eBay, Etsy, whatever work? Or am I going to work on it in the evening after I get the kids down? When am I going to work on it? So maybe you decide, okay, I can work on stuff in the evening. The question is that one of your most productive times a day? If it's not, you may want to change it. But for the purposes of this exercise, let's get this going. So I'm going to spend some time on learning, research, setup, okay, and some administrative stuff that has to be done operational. I'm going to go ahead and click on more options. This is in the early stages of what you're going to be doing. I only want to be focused on this for roughly about 2 weeks. Okay, I'm not going to be doing this forever. So I'm only going to set this up for 2 weeks because this thing is going to flip. It's going to flip. I needed to do something different. Okay. So this is not really an income producing activity for me. I set up a notification to remind myself, okay, I got to sit down. I got to work on my Shopify store. I got to do some stuff. I got to go do some product research. I got to go do whatever. And typically I wouldn't put that many things in one time slot, but for the purposes of this exercise, like I would break them all down. Like, okay, if there was something I needed to learn, I normally actually put 1 hour's worth of learning on Sunday. So I can go do some deep research, focus time, learning something new. And then if I'm doing product research, doing keyword research, if I'm going out there to go research some vendors or suppliers, then that would be what you would see there. I would not put learning in that same block. So again, adjust it to whatever you need to do. Then after I've done all of this activity, maybe I'm continuing some setup. There are things that I am going to be able to do in my business. And I'm going to say that I at least maybe, possibly at some point, I'm going to have at least 30 minutes. We'll see. And maybe it's not every day, maybe it's every other day. So, I'm putting 30 minutes of some type of listing activity for the next 2 weeks, just because I know that there's going to be stuff I'm going to be able to do or not be able to do. I got to get better at creating my listings or integrating listings or importing listings into my Shopify store. So if some stuff is not right, I got to go fix some stuff, then I go fix some stuff. Okay. There's going to be stuff you're going to do. So set up notifications, 10 minutes, and change this color. And this is a listing related activity. Okay. And then you would go through, if you've got some additional things that you're going to be doing, just go ahead and build it into your schedule. So the activities that I have documented that you're going to be engaged in, and the one thing that I forgot to add here was, you got to run ads, you got to build ads. There's going to be time that you're going to be spending. That's an income producing activity. Income producing activity. Oh, my Lord. Income producing activity. There we go. And so that is one of your things is you're going to be doing some marketing, and paid marketing is what you're going to be spending. So you're going to be spending money to make money, and you need to be prepared for that particular activity. So what I want you all to do is make a note of some of the things that you're going to be doing, but you got to find that time block. When are you really going to focus on your business? When are you going to actually work in your business? What is the most optimal time for you to work in your business? If you're not doing anything already, and this is you're starting brand new, then you're set up for success, because then you can invest 100% of your time, available time, in getting your store up and running faster than maybe everybody else, unless that person is like not doing anything else, like they're not working a job, so then they could do both. It doesn't matter. But you need to put together a schedule. Some of the activities you're going to learn, there is going to be there's going to be research, just general research. Then you're going to have some sourcing related research that you're going to do, and sourcing related activities. You're going to do some keyword research. There's going to be setup that you're going to be doing. And we're going to be doing setup all the way up to session 4. And there's going to be some administrative things and some operational. And then as that pie turns upside down and a lot of that stuff is done and you have to do less of it, then you're going to see that you're going to be spending more time on listing, running ads, and maybe, just maybe, if you're doing in-house fulfillment, doing shipping. If you're not, you're just checking things. So that's still an administrative task that you're going to be doing. You're going to be checking or following up things. And then you can use all of the knowledge that you are gaining from this class to be able to go build Shopify stores long-term. Once you've mastered doing this for yourself, you can go build yourself another store for another niche and build another store for another niche. And before you know it, you're running 10 different Shopify stores. How would that be for you? Be pretty awesome once you get them set up. So with that being said, your assignment for next week, of course, is going to be to build a real work schedule. And I want you to build one out for the next 90 days, knowing that you're going to be engaged in learning related activities and building and creation related activities for at least the next 3 to 4 weeks. And then you're going to get to a place where that's going to flip and you're going to be hopefully generating some cash. So Michelle, I'm going to stop showing my screen and let you show your screen.
All right.
There.
All right. So let me share. Let me get to my right screen here. All right. All right. So, can everybody see my screen?
Yep,
Is
I
it
can see your screen.
big enough?
Well, you can click on present. It's just my slides. I had too many words at the bottom, but yeah, you can click.
Okay. Let's see how it works. Okay. So
There you go.
when I show the examples, I'm gonna have to go out of print for a minute. I mean, I present for a minute. Okay. So what I want to talk about starting off at first, and I know this feels like just like kind of Nicole said with the mindset part of this, like why is Shopify and some of the basics I'm going to start with may seem tedious, boring, but it's so important for a successful Shopify store. So when choosing Shopify, um, as your storefront, because there are other platforms, that are similar, like I'm skipping over the slide. I don't always go in order like Nicole, so please forgive me, but it's all on the slide. There are similar platforms like Shopify, like Wanello, Wix, WooCommerce, Weebly. I don't have it listed, Big Cartel, Store Envy. But when choosing Shopify, some of the niches like the dog niche, dog leashes, fishing rods, tennis shoes, wall clocks, auto parts, Christmas, everything. It's just like creating your own Walmart, Target, Kohl's store, and you can do it for a single product or a variety of products. The Shopify platform, every platform is built different, like Nicole has talked about with Amazon, Walmart, is different. But with Shopify, you have more control over kind of how the theme, what you want to sell, and it's your actual store. So it's like having your own Walmart, your own Target, your own Kohl's, and you decide on your catalog, your categories, what you will have in there. Okay. So for me, I did look at other platforms, but I decided on Shopify. And some of the reasons I decided to run with Shopify, when I looked at some of the other stores, it was Shopify was easy to set up. It was easy to populate products with a variety of Shopify products or dropship products. And like Nicole had said earlier, when I say easy, I mean user interface. When you're in the back of that store, it's kind of read, click, put into place. It's not a whole lot of coding. There's, if unless you want something special, would you have to code or hire a coder? Everything's pretty simple that you can set up for your store to run effectively and efficiently. Also, Shopify offers free and paid tools to help you manage your store, and those are called apps. So, because Shopify has been around and they've really blown up, most of the apps have a free trial period. Some apps are totally free the whole time frame, and even after the trial period is over, most of them are low cost. So that adds into the cost of you operating your business. Okay. And for what you're trying to do, and as your store levels up with success, you will end up adding in other types of apps to support your store model and how you're running everything. And there's just such a wide variety when you kind of compare it to other platforms like Store Envy and WooCommerce, because Shopify right now is kind of the giant in this platform space. So a lot of developers are constantly making apps and new trial apps for Shopify. Shopify's customer service, I love them. 24/7 support. Even with COVID going on, I know they had become a little bit overwhelmed because so many people started a Shopify store, but they have still maintained this wonderful customer support where they will absolutely help you and they get back to you quickly if you don't get someone just immediately on the phone. For me, the support is number one, and that makes it easier for me to do my business and operate my business, knowing that I have that to fall back on. Shopify is also one of the lowest kind of startup costs and fees to get started. I would roughly say on the low scale, less than 200 of just setting up everything, because they have such robust free already in there when it comes to your theme, and you've got a free trial period to use it. You have time to set up everything before you open your doors officially and start selling. Um, Also, the Shopify apps offer a lot of features, like being able to accept credit card payments, easy add to cart and checkout, and easy to create coupons and sales. Now, let me say this a little bit. I'm older. I don't know where you are in your season of life, but I remember, because I've done business before, to get a credit card account, which is also synopsis with the word merchant account, it took almost the act of Congress. Like, they did credit checks. You had to put like $3,000 to $5,000 down, just for you to have it. For those who remember it, to get the little what do they call it? That little thing that you put the card on and you slide the thing to get the imprint of the credit card and all that. That's a merchant account. And it took, like, you had to already kind of be great credit, have your business up and running, showing you're making sales before you could accept major credit cards. For the longest, people only could accept cash or money orders. But now Shopify makes it so easy, because they have a partnership with Stripe, that when you go in there, you put in your information, and then after it's approved, you're just immediately able to accept all credit cards, major credit cards, MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Diners Club, and that makes it so simple. It's still a merchant account. They do take a percentage, I think on the low, well, on the high end is 2.9%, but it can go as low if I believe as 2.1%. Of course, everybody's in business to make money. So they get a percentage for processing that credit card for you. But when I look back at what I know about business and where this is now, this is one of the major hurdles that people dealt with trying to get a payment processor to be able to accept payments, credit card payments. So they make it easy for you on Shopify. The easy to add to cart and checkout, that setup of that is great. I remember I've built websites where all these different facets I had to, like, build it, connect it, build it, connect it. Now, when you set up your store, it automatically seamlessly connects. The ease of creating coupons is so wonderful and great, because you can make coupons and make up your own coupon code and put that out to um, your customers. You can also make a coupon where when somebody comes to check out, say you want to do a flash sale for Black Friday, so you're like, everything in the store is 30% off. The coupon applies at checkout. You can do that. That is so simple to do. Shopify is also a great platform to sell a variety of products via different business models, whether it be handmade crafts, the wreaths, face masks, baby blankets, to do wholesale products. So maybe you buy some products in bulk and you listed them on there and you want to sell, or you do drop shipping and you use a vendor, third party vendor, to go ahead and ship those products to your customer, and that's hands off. And just having the variety of ways of how you can integrate with your store, the sky's the limit. Never before in history and time have all the, like, variables lined up, however you want to look at it. The stars are lined up with the advancement of our internet connections, software, the ease of use, that you can literally take something from idea format and make it be a store and make money because you had this idea. And it's absolutely amazing. Okay, so I want to get into a little bit about the different things with regards to, there's two major things that before you even sign up to build your store, that we need to pin down. Um, so store model and business model. So store model, niche versus a general store model. So I'm sure in this time in 2020 that you've heard the word niche, niche. So when we talk about niche, we want to, everybody in this world has some things that are their favorite or some hobby or something that they do seamlessly. They grew up doing it. So, I always think about the people I see that play the harmonica. I couldn't play the harmonica to save myself. That's a niche. I've fished before, but I've never fly fished. That's a whole different niche. We all have, these different things that we love, we know, we grew up on. I'm not a barbecuer. My husband barbecues, but I couldn't tell you what spatula, what stick to use, whatever. I don't know any of that or how to make something be juicy after it's barbecued. That's not my jam. So this is what niching is. When you choose to do a niche store, you think about what is it that I know about? What do I like to do? What could I do seamlessly where if I put this type of store up, I don't feel like I'm working. Like this just lines up with something I already do in my life that I'm passionate about. So, you could have, I don't dwell in, but you could have a political t-shirt store. Um, you might want to have a pet store, but and I know that's under general store, but I'm explaining the difference. Instead of just a pet store with a niche, you would dwell it down to maybe you only sold items for the little pets. So like a terrier, the chihuahuas, all the little the Pomeranians. That's more of a niche store. Now, when you look at general store, then it's more of an overall store. You could have a supplement store, and that may seem in your mind like it's a niche, but it's not because you may sell vitamins, you may sell um, special vitamins just toward women over 50. You may sell special vitamins for men. You can have all those different vitamins or supplements in that store. So now it's a general store because you're kind of selling a little bit of everything. And even with that supplement store, what if you threw in some type of oils or other things that kind of center around that being a supplement store? So maybe you sell the cases that people would put their supplements in that have the days of the week or the times of the day so they know to take it. Same thing with pet store. Like I said, that's very broad. That's a general store because with a pet store, you could sell leashes that fit all size dogs from a Chihuahua up to a Great Dane. You can sell pet bowls all the way from a Yorkie all the way up to a Mastiff. That's a general store. Um, Another one would be like hot trendy items. That's usually when you know it's a general store based on the name of the store. There's gadget stores and things like that. And I am going to show you some examples. I'm just going to go through the slide first, so I'm not going back and forth. So you can take notes, keep in your mind. So then when I go to show you the stores and I say the different ones. So that's the first part. That is the store model that you need to decide on before we even open your Shopify store. Am I going to try to do a niche store where it's really kind of niche down toward a very targeted audience? Or am I going to do a general store where I may be able to sell many things? So, another thing I say is a general store. Say you had a store that was like the kitchen cupboard. So, the kitchen cupboard could be you're selling appliances for the kitchen, you're selling um, plate sets, maybe you're selling the stove what do you call those things? Mittens, things like that. So that's more of a general store because you're not niching down and saying, oh, I'm only going to sell kitchen decor. So you're only going to sell, you're not going that people are going to know there's not going to be appliances in the store. This is everything that you would need to decorate a kitchen or make your kitchen more efficient, with the items that you have in there. So that's very important. Then we're going to go into business models after you've decided on your store model. So now you have your store model, you decide if it's going to be a niche or a general store. Now you have to decide on the business model that you will run within the store. So we're going to start with print on demand versus drop shipping model. So with a print on demand, and I'm sure you've kind of heard this, biggest thing out there is t-shirts. T-shirts, that's either you designing a print to go on a t-shirt or paying someone for a design. That's a print on demand item. You can create car seat covers, you can create coffee mugs, you can create shower curtains, just about everything, shoes, anything you can think of can be a print on demand item. So in the big scheme of things, you actually have the store, you have this app that you just upload your design to, and it creates this print on demand t-shirt, and you list that t-shirt in your store. You don't hold inventory, you're not making the shirt. So when a person orders, it automatically connects with the print on demand, and it orders the shirt for your customer and it ships it to them. So print on demand is one type of store model. So that I'm saying to you, you've decided maybe I'm going to have a niche store for fly fishing. Okay. But in that store model, I'm going to do print on demand as my business model. So that means every t-shirt on there, every car seat cover, every coffee mug is going to have some funny phrase, some picture, something to do with fly fishing, you know. Um, Now, with the drop shipping store model, it is going to be kind of the opposite. It's not print on demand. You're actually going in, selecting items within a drop shipping app that will be shipped from another country. It could be China, it could be anywhere else. It could be in the United States. But what it is that you say, okay, I want this fly lure for my fly fishing store. Oh, they got different colors. I'm going to put all these on here. And then when somebody orders, that app processes the order and actually sends them that physical product of that fly fish lure. So it's the same thing you can do a jewelry store. So maybe you have rings and necklaces and everything. You once again you hold no inventory. This is why it's drop shipping. It's gonna when the person orders, it's gonna send, it's all connected, it's gonna prompt the drop shipping app you have to actually automatically order that product, and it will ship it directly to your customer. And that's why it says these items are shipped directly to the customer from the supplier or vendor or manufacturer you choose. Then you have the one product store model versus the combination store model. So this is still lining up with, am I doing print on demand? Am I doing drop shipping? Now we're going to talk about a one store model. So you may see some of these where somebody either finds a great item or they maybe invent something or they make something up. And so that whole Shopify store is just centered around that one product model. It may come in different colors, different sizes, but all they sell is, so I have examples here. One product store examples: gun safe store, cell phone accessory store, body shaper store. So they may sell this one type of corset body shaper, but it comes in all these different colors. That's a one product model store. You're not mixing in the barbells, the supplements. That would make it be then a general store. You're saying all we sell is body shapers. They just happen to come in different colors and maybe different styles, but that's all we sell. Then you have a combination store. So, with a combination store, you can combine print on demand and drop shipping. So, that means your store may have some items in it that are drop shipped, the jewelry, the lures for the fishing store. But then it may still have t-shirts with funny sayings that go along with the fly fishing. It may have coffee mugs that go along with the fly fishing. So you have a little bit of both. You have drop ship items and then you have some print on demand. So that's a combination store. Okay. So let me go out of here real quick. I did bring up a few stores. So let me see if I can show you. Okay. So first, let's see. We're okay. So the first store, I'm going to show you the niche store. The niche store, this store, heavily inspired, of course, is a Christian store. That is a niche. Now, it is also, in the same token, a combination store. Okay. So let's make sure we understand this is a niche store. It's not a general store. This store is not going to sell fishing lures because it's not a general store. It's only going to sell things that have to do with being a Christian. But it is a combination store in the fact that it has print on demand items and it has drop ship items. So here we can see there's print on demand shirts, shoes, print on demand shoes. And when you scroll down, here's some drop ship products that just are up there. So it's a combination store. Here are some more print on demand, and it has drop ship and print on demand. So, but it's niche to only the Christian market. All this stuff has to do with the Christian market. So next, here is a general store. So not a niche store, a general store, because it says click gadget. So it's going to have a whole bunch of gadgets. The gadgets may not necessarily just be for a cell phone or for TV or toys. It's just going to be different gadgets. But based on what I'm seeing on the store, it's a general store, but it's drop ship model only. Because all these products are drop ship. I don't see any print on demand. I don't see any shirts saying, hey, like my gadget store, this gadget is cool. It's just items that are drop shipped. There's no t-shirts, there's no car seats, it's just items that would be drop shipped. Okay. Now, this store is a drop ship store, but it is the business model of a one product store. They only sell their hot stuff, their hot sauce. They have 3 different variations of the hot sauce, but this is all they sell is hot sauce. That's it. It's a one product store. They're like, this is what you get, the sauce. That's it. Don't look for us for anything else. We're not going to sell you the waffle making machine or the barbecue grill that make, for you to put the stuff on it. It's just the hot sauce. It's just that they have different variations of it. So that's that one product store still as a drop ship model. There's no print on demand. There's no t-shirts that say try Truff's hot sauce. There's no car seats on here, none of that. Then you have this Pet Magnus. Okay. So this is one like a general store because they didn't niche down to just dogs. They didn't niche down to just cats. They have both cats and dogs. And it's drop ship. It's all items that they pulled on their store through the app and it's going to be drop ship. There's no print on demand here where they say, "Oh, I love my pet. Buy the shirt," or or a pet bowl that has the pet's name on it. This is simply drop ship, but a general store because they have some of everything. They're not just selling these pet baggies and they're not just selling for dogs, they're selling for dogs and cats. Then lastly, we have a store that is all print on demand and a mixture kind of creating your own crafts. I know for a fact these dominoes are handcrafted, made. It's still like print on demand. Here's the seat covers, that's print on demand. There are no drop ship items on here. There are all print on demand products where there's car seats, there's placemats, there's drinkware, where there's coffee mugs. All of this is print on demand. they don't have any of this in stock in their home. They simply design this print or have someone design it, and then they put it on here as what we call a mock-up. And when people order, the company or the app that's tied to the Shopify creates this one cup and sends it out to the customer. So this whole store is a print on demand store, whether it be drinkware, bags, see tumblers. All of these are designs which are print on demand. No drop ship items. All of these are designs that have been put on products. So I hope help seeing those different stores kind of starts you to thinking, okay, now it's starting to make a little bit more sense. And I'm understanding what she means about which which store model, which store model I should choose. Okay. So we're going to go back to the presentation. Let me get a drink of water. Bear with me. Okay. So the next part, like I said, all of this is that foundation before we actually get into pressing the button and creating our store. We are going to learn about doing some research for keywords because once you know and you decide, okay, I want to do a store based around fly fishing. So you're going to go like to Google or Amazon, you're going to put in fly fishing, see what comes up because I don't know anything about fly fishing, but I'm sure there's some terminology and keywords that go to that niche. So it may be this certain fly fishing lure because they probably have some names for it. So a good example for me, I don't know this much about this niche, but golfing, I do know because my grandfather golfed. Okay, so one of the keywords for me might be what is it called? A 9 iron. I do know that, a 9 iron, a putter. So these are those keywords that when you're doing product research and you're trying to find those keywords, you're going to be looking at, okay, I know I'm going to golf a niche. I'm gonna put in putter. I'm gonna put in a 5 iron. I don't know the brand of the best golf set of clubs, but I would look up that branding. Another example, like if you were thinking about doing a cycling store, then you're going to look at what are the keywords like for the type of sunglasses cyclists wear. What is the brands that cyclists, the bikes they ride, what kind of clothing? I'm sure they wear, what is it, Under Armour. So these are the keywords to kind of start giving you some information of possible products that you might want to have in your cycle shop or in your fly fishing store. And when you first start out, you may have to start out with that broad niche research. So that's, use the main word that describes your store or your store products to begin the research. So just like I said, fly fishing. If I didn't know, I don't know any of the lure terms because there's probably certain lures, but if I knew nothing about golf, I would put golf clubs. That's that main word that is a descriptive, broad niche word. Then it's going to bring me up other things to let me know 9 iron, putter, and then you start building your keywords because now you have some of the words that go along with your niche. So with that activity, you're going to visit Google and Amazon and Walmart search so that you can put those keywords in there and start trying to find other keywords that will show you also products that are popular in that niche that you're thinking about for your Shopify store. And here we have keywords everywhere.com. That's an I'm sorry, not Goon, a Google Chrome extension that you can install. So as you're searching, it will offer you kind of on the right hand side some other keywords that would go along when you put that main research word in there. So when you put in golfing or golf clubs, then it'll show you some other keywords. So you don't have to work so hard with your mind trying to think, well, what else can I search by? What else can I do? Okay. So once you start having those keywords and you start kind of seeing some of the products, then I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go through the next slide. Okay. So then you're going to start laser targeting to your niche to get really focused research. Because once you narrow down, then you're going to know like about 5 to 7 niche keywords that describe the products or brands in your store. So if you know you're going to start out with these different variants of a 9 iron, and I know a little bit, I think there's like different sizes of a 9 iron. So, see, that's when you're really niching down. So, not only did we start from golf clubs and then we got down to 9 iron, now we're like the 10-inch 9 hour, a 9 iron. Like, I don't know golf like that, but I'm sure if I did my research, I could find that. You know, if I go from starting with that broad keyword, cycling, and then I niche down and I'm like, oh, cycling sunglasses. And then I find out cycling sunglasses are the most bought are Ray-Bans. Oh, okay. Now I'm keyword focused. So maybe I'm looking for similar products. I'm going to go look for sunglasses that mimic or model Ray-Bans because these are the ones I know the cyclists like. Okay. So this seems like I know like it's gonna, yeah, like I told you, mundane, tedious. It's the laying of the foundation. It is the work that has to be done before you actually open that store, because once you start the store, you don't want to go back and have to do all this research. You want to kind of already have it written down, know where you're going with your store. So then you can just begin to build and put products in your store. Okay. Then there's that last kind of part of research, which you may revisit from time to time as you add new products. And this is what we call audience research, because you've done the top three researches, which is about your store, what products you will have, what the focus of your store will be. But now we need to do the audience research to make sure that there are people who are going to want to buy it. That is your audience. We're looking for your buying audience to make sure we don't put in all this work, put up a store, and then nobody's going to buy anything. Okay. So, like, I don't know, a good example for me would be like, I know a while back rave parties were really popular. So what if I wanted to open up a rave store and then I think they have those whatever they're called chem lights or these things, when you're at a rave party, it's dark, so you gotta have these lights. But what if I go and do that and find out, well, they don't really buy online. They kind of go to the Dollar General and buy those because they can get them for $1. Then I've done all this work to open up this so-called rave store, rave product store, and nobody's going to come and buy because my price is too high, or they can just go to their local Dollar General and get it. So this is why it's so important to do this foundation in the beginning. So part of audience research is, and we'll go into this more in the other classes, but you're briefly like reviewing Facebook, um, ads account, wait a minute, briefly like Google, not the actual accounts. We're going to like search on Facebook, and I'll show you how to do that with audience insights and the search engine in Facebook. We're going to like review some Google and Google ads and things that, because you want to see if there's an audience for this. You're going to determine if you have that audience on Facebook, Google, and or Bing for the first 5 to 7 keywords you've selected. And then we're going to look at, once we have those 5 to 7 keywords, the age of the people most likely in that those 5 to 7 keywords, the gender, and the location. So we're going to look for also familiar or related Facebook business pages. So I can say right now, if I did a rave store, definitely anyone probably 45 and up is not going to be in my buying audience. The rave party is more young folks. That's going to be 18 to 24, 25 to 35, maybe, and what does that look like? I'm from the South. We don't really have rave parties. I think that's more up north. That's a northern thing. So maybe I'm going to look at northern states instead of advertising to southern states. So all of that matters when you're doing your research before you even begin to set up your store or even think about, you know, throwing products in, but once you have this narrowed down and once you know exactly where you're going in your target market, then you can begin to move into the next phase. Okay. So, sourcing research. Yeah, this is all that research. I know it makes people crazy, but you get it out the way and you're good to go. Sourcing research. Where do I get my products? So, once we've decided store model, business model, niche, we're niche down, or are we going to do a general store? Then we start looking at, based on what you've decided, are we going to use third party suppliers? Which the old way would be AliExpress, Alibaba, New Frog, DH Gate. The new way, the automated way, which I'm going to show you both ways because you need to know. I always tell people, there are apps that will do it for you now, automated. But we all know software fails us. It is subject to failures. So you still always need to know how to do it the old way in case you need to edit a product. You need to add a product manually. It shouldn't happen often, but just in case software breaks, if it messes up, if they're having a down day, server goes down, you still need to know the old way to add a product or do it, but you will have the new way where it's more automatic. I'm also in this training going to go through the best print on demand suppliers that I have worked with turnaround time, quality of the product. So you're not getting a lot of refunds or complaints. These are like Printful, Printify, T Launch, Custom Cat, Pillow Profits. And then also we'll talk about wholesale. So with wholesale, in our world of Shopify, is called in-house fulfillment. So what can actually happen, and it did happen to me, and it happens to a lot of people. You never know what product you put in your store is going to start trending and take off. And so what happens sometimes is you will that product will take off and you'll have like 10,000 orders, and your automatic fulfillment, those suppliers can't keep up. So maybe then you'll have to go ahead and buy in bulk. At that point, you have the money to buy in bulk because you've made it with all those sales. And so maybe you have to buy in bulk and then you do in-house fulfillment. You're going to package it and ship it to your customer yourself, or you're going to hire what we call a third-party distribution center or fulfillment center to ship it to your customers for you. But you're going to send them like it's almost like that Amazon FBA. You're going to send this box with 500 of this item, and they're going to send it out for you at a cost. Everybody's in business to make money, but this can happen because if a product takes off, you'll be running behind it trying to fulfill because it just people will start ordering more than one, and they'll start sharing it and things will go crazy. So, sourcing, the ways to minimize your exposure to the COVID-19. Is this me or this you, Nicole? Did I go one too far? Did Nicole leave me? Let me see something real quick. Hold on, everyone. I think this is her part about sourcing. Yeah, she's got this last part about sourcing. So let me see. I apologize. Give me 1 second. I hope you all are getting a lot out of this. I know this is kind of the boring part, um, but I promise you, it is the necessary foundation for a successful start with Shopify and being able to really take your business to the next level. When you get this out the way, you'll be like, I am so glad I did this, that I got an understanding and I did this on the forefront. Um, because sometimes people miss this step and then they struggle later because they're like, oh my goodness, why didn't I think of that? I should have did that. And then they go back and try to implement it, but the store's up and running and then it's going back and it's trying to fix everything. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. I do not like to have to fix stuff. I want to do it right the first time. Even if it takes me a little bit longer, I'm just like, let me understand it the right way. Because I know you all have probably experienced it when you're in school. It is so hard to unlearn something when you learned it the wrong way. You might have had that teacher, she taught you this way to do addition and subtraction, multiplication, and then you level up, you go to high school or college, and then this teacher says, no, this is a simpler way to do it. And now you got to unlearn and now relearn the new. So that's how I look at it with Shopify. I want to learn the right way from the first part, from the first time go around. There's always going to be unforeseen things that happen that come up that you will need to be flexible as an entrepreneur and work through it and around it. And that's par for the business. It happens, but when that usually happens, that's because you're successful and the business is taking off and you're like, dang, I didn't think about that, I forgot about that, let me implement that. That's a good place to be, instead of sitting there saying, doggone it, I've had my store for 3 months, I haven't got a sale yet. What's wrong with the store? And then trying to go back and try to figure out, it's kind of like reverse engineering, trying to figure out what to do, what did I do wrong, what step did I miss. So I'd rather take my time from the giddy up and just do it from that forefront. So let me see. Let me just take a brief pause here and drink some water and see if I can see if Nicole, because this is her part. Give me a moment, everyone. Okay, sorry everyone. Well, while I'm waiting on Nicole to come back, I mean, I can read the slides, but this is not my part. Let me see if I can get to where I can take some questions. If I can see the chat, let me stop sharing for a moment. Okay, so while I'm waiting on Nicole to come back for that last little part, did anyone have any questions? You could type it in the chat that I could answer over the information I went over. No questions? I know that was a lot of information. No questions? Don't be scared to ask, because this is the way that you learn. This is the reason for live training, so you can get your questions answered. Does anyone have any thought processes on what they may think they want their store niche to be, or the type of model store they're maybe thinking of? Okay, so all right. Well, since I don't have any questions, what I'll do is just go ahead and finish out these little few slides while I wait for Nicole to come back. So, with sourcing and ways to maximize your exposure to COVID, um, and I'm trying to think of what she was going to talk about here with Instacart, TaskRabbit, Ship, Postmates. These are I guess apps and things that she uses as a way to not, expose yourself to COVID, because Instacart I know is a delivery service for groceries, and they've also recently added some states have the ability to do prescription drugs. So if you get your stuff from CVS or things like that, they can deliver to you. And I think Ship T is also another one. You can order online or do a store pickup or delivery. And I have done that with Walmart. I don't go in, I just order and I pull up in that little block and tell them I'm here on my app. Um, Ship to the prep center, hire personal shopper, and wear mask and gloves, which I think is obvious. Sanitize your purchases and only place items in the trunk and leave items in the garage for a period of time before touching. All those things will help to minimize your exposure to the possibility of COVID with the packaging and things like that. So with sourcing, she has an activity for you all to do, um, to kind of write down your budget, your potential budget, or available funds to invest in inventory. If you're doing that type of business model, if you are going to kind of buy in bulk, list those items on your Shopify store and sell that way, then you need to kind of structure that out and think what you want to invest or do. You don't have to, like I told you, there is the drop shipping, which doesn't require you to have inventory, and there's print on demand model that doesn't require you to have inventory. But if you choose this method, you also need to create a separate email address for the store and collecting receipts, invoices for taxes and accounting. And just like Nicole said earlier, I am a proponent of a Gmail account. Yahoo, Hotmail, and things like that don't always serve us well when we're doing a business like this. So, you first always want to try to get your store name, where you're, whatever it is, hot trendy items at gmail.com. And you can work with that until you can level up to where you get the actual domain email where it's like support at gmail.com. She has on here recommendation, reinvest the majority of your profits for 90% so you can scale up, and definitely keep all your receipts so that when tax time comes around, you have everything in front of you. Track your mileage. That's if you're going out and picking up inventory and investing. Sign up for coupons or create accounts for those stores that you shop in often, and start with free to low costs. Look around the house, talk to relatives, neighbors, friends. She must was going to tell her story, because you never know what people, have in their garage or sitting in a box. Like I said, I lived in Germany for 5 years, and I have boxes out of my garage of things that I bought while I was over there that I've never opened and never used. I just kind of saw it. I was like, oh, that's pretty. That's nice. That would be cute on my table. And then I never used it because you change up your color style, you paint the house or something, your whole decorum changes. And I'm like, but I was like, I don't want to just give it away. I paid good money for it. So, you know, Look at yard and garage sales, church sales, thrift and Goodwill stores, and definitely looking for store closures and liquidations because things are going to be very low cost because they're just trying to get rid of that inventory. Low cost to some costs, retail and online arbitrage. I can't pronounce that because I don't do that, but online arbitrage. I said it right, arbitrage. Okay, search clearance, use coupons, rebates, and cashback to acquire sometimes below wholesale, and some costs to invest in bulk orders and wholesale. Like I said, you kind of have to know your budget. Maybe you want to do a toy store, so maybe you have a budget of $200 to buy some bulk toys that you know may be trending or people want, and so you really need to know at what cost you can get that. That will give you a better idea of how many you can purchase at one time. And then she has a list, and I believe she's going to share this with you guys of where you can source from. Of course, Walmart and the clearance being the main word at any store. The clearance rack is your friend. Target and clearance, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, all of these great big brands. Grocery stores, I noticed many years back, I started seeing, I'm like, wow, wait a minute, HEB, Kroger's the different. I'm going in there for grocery shopping, and they end up having shirts or different things and grills. And I'm like, is it the grocery store or am I going to like Target? Now it's kind of a mixture of different things within that store that you thought was just groceries, or this store is just clothing. Now they have a little bit of everything. Of course, look at the warehouse type model stores, Costco's, Sam's Club, BJ's. Where I'm located, I don't have the Costco or BJ's, but I do have the Sam's Club. Drugstores always have some great sales and clearances, and they have some rewards programs so you can, get money off of things that cost, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid. The sporting goods, Dick's Sporting Goods, Cabela, Bass Pro Shops, Academy Sports. I have an Academy Sports here. Pet stores, PetSmart, Petco, Hollywood Feed, hardware, Ace Hardware, Lowe's. This right here, none of this would be any niche that I would try to do. I don't know the difference between a 10-inch nail, a 3-inch nail. This is not my niche. I barely can hang up a picture. I leave it to the husband to do that. Online only, Wayfair, Overstock, Hay Needle. So, I didn't read all of them, but you can take some notes. You can see that. I think she's going to send it out. And you can see some good places that you may be able to source. All right. And then, so next week, because we're about, I think, 5 minutes over time, next week, we're going to talk about review this video. Hopefully, you will have decided on your store model and completed your keyword research. You will have decided on a niche or close to it. Follow the schedule you created. Review your why and the daily target numbers that you want to reach daily, and then attend the Q&A if you still have questions or if you're struggling to come up with what store model, what niche that you may want to do. So I'm going to ask again, um, is there any questions that you might have? We got about, I guess, I thought it ended at 9, but I guess we have till 9:30. So we've got about 20 minutes. If there's any questions about what we've gone on over, if you're able to, in the chat, type that in the chat. Okay. So I do see someone put a comment. That was really great, Karen. Uh, Lots to think about and implement. Thank you, Karen. Yes, it is a lot in this part. This is that foundation, like I said, and it seems a little tedious and stuff, but it really gets your brain going. I hope the example stores kind of gave you some food for thought and kind of thinking, oh, do I want to do that? Do I want a niche? Do I want, it's funny to think that someone can make a store simply centered around hot sauce, but they're probably making good money. you know, uh, and the branding is beautiful. So I think that's unique, because here's what I think about when I see this store and how um that this reminds me of, because I'm from the South. So it's like, oh, my grandmother used to make that particular, barbecue sauce that she kick everybody out of the kitchen while she made it, because you couldn't see the secret ingredients in it. You know what I'm saying? And so this is that kind of thing. Like, there are some people that have some secret sauce type of stuff, and they could just package that up, brand that, and make their whole store just centered around that one product. That is crazy. I love it though, because this is what Shopify allows you to do, to take that idea into creation, into reality, and make money with it. So it's amazing. I was like, this is a nice brand. I just want to order some for the bottle, because they did wonderful packaging. I'm just crazy like that. I just like to try. So I don't even eat hot sauce like that, but I like the branding. And Karen also said it was very helpful. I'm glad, Karen, that you got a lot out of it. I know it's a lot to take in, but it's well worth it. Is there any other comments or questions? Okay, well, if not, I'm just gonna put up her last slide she had, and we'll wrap up session one for this evening. And I can't wait to see you guys next Saturday and see what you got done, what you worked on, what maybe you've decided. I always like to see the niches, because, like I said, we are such a wide variety of people across the board, and it's so interesting to see what people's passions are, what they may be doing, or what their and I'm like, wow, I would have never thought about that. That's great. Oh my god, I didn't even know they make that. So it's just interesting, always for me to see, because there's just so many ideas out there, so many different things that people can do, and things they experience. And sometimes it goes with the part of the region of the United States you live in, and things like that. So I think it's cool. So this is the last slide, the e-commerce sellers academy. And it has a list of the member benefits, which include, the live weekly training sessions, live weekly Q&A sessions, quarterly coaching sessions, exclusive membership training site, access to resources and templates, private Facebook group and community. You get immediate results, weekly RA and OA list, monthly ASINs list for auto ungating party, monthly wholesale providers list for listing parties, eCom Sellers Academy membership discounts, access to 20 plus eCom training series and workshops, and access to 2019's eCom Seller Summit and 2019 eCom Q4. So she has the URL up there, ecomsellersacademy.com. It's $17.99 a month. So if you're interested in that, you can go take a look and check that out. If there's no other questions or comments, then I'm going to go ahead and wrap this session up, and I will see you all next Saturday. And work on your schedule, work on thinking about your niche, and kind of doing your research. And I can't wait to see next Saturday what you bring to the table. It should be interesting. Okay, you guys have a great rest of your Saturday evening and a blessed and safe weekend. Thank you, Celia. I appreciate you. You all take care.